Hi, I'm Norm Kern, and I'd like to welcome you to Access MC, Access to Motorcycling. Each month we take you to motorcycle events, both amateur and professional. Once again, we're coming to you from the American Motorcyclist Association Heritage Museum in Westerville, Ohio. This unique museum was built to showcase and preserve America's motorcycling heritage. For instance, I have next to me two Indians and a Harley-Davidson road race bike from the late 1940s. These were used on the famous Daytona Beach road race course, which was much different than what we have today. Part of the course was on Route 1, which was paved and goes north and south along the beach. Then the course made a turn and it went right up the sandy beach right next to the ocean. This month we're going to Troy, Ohio for the annual Kenworthy National Pro Motocross. For this year's event, we got to meet and talk with some of the top stars in motocross racing today. In addition, we were able to expand our coverage to a new level of quality. This race is an opportunity to see some of the world's best riders in action. Kenworthy's Pro Motocross is held in late July each year. Saturday's event is held for amateur riders, while Sunday's event is for professional, national, and top local riders. The pits are as interesting as the race itself. The bikes are cleaned and prepped before each race. Jeff Stanton, the number 1 ranked 250cc rider, is getting dressed to race. The bikes are production-based but modified for lighter weight and greater power. This bike is ridden by Guy Cooper, the number 1 ranked 125cc rider. This seat has a vinyl pad with a special gripping pattern. The engine is water-cooled. It looks stock but has many internal modifications. With me here is Guy Cooper, who's the number 1 125 rider in National Motocross. Is that right?
Yep, from points last year, I got the number 1 plate.
Okay. A lot of people say this is one of your favorite tracks. Would you like to tell us about that?
Well, this is a track that's always been a favorite of mine because there's a lot of reasons. For one, it's my first national that I ever won in 1987 was here at this track. And the fans have always been something that I look forward to coming back here. They're always rooting for me and cheering, and it's a track that I adapt to well and can ride fast on.
You come to town a little bit early and practice locally before the race, right?
Right. I called Ron Denny of the AMA, and he gave me some numbers to call. And the Dayton Motorcycle Club had a track for me to ride on, and I rode Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday there. So I came in hoping that the weather would be the same as it was this weekend, but we had nice weather all week, and it's nice on the weekend. So I guess it is true that I've had the same weather this week, but generally you go to a track early so you can get used to the high humidity or whatever's different. But I'll take the good weather today.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, thanks a lot, and good luck.
Thank you.
The riders are lining up for the start of the first 125cc moto. And they're off. After a very good start, Jeff Emig takes the lead. Now, Mike Kiedrowski is challenging for the lead. Mike is 23 years old from Canyon Country, California. He started riding at age 6 and entered his first race at age 7. He's riding Kawasaki's now, but previously rode for Honda. He won the AMA 125cc National Motocross Championship in 1989 and lost it by just a single point in 1990. He was also a member of the winning Motocross Nations team in 1989. In his spare time, Mike likes surfing, jet skiing, and fishing. Jeff Emig again. Jeff is 21 years old. He was born in Independence, Missouri, and now lives in Grand Terrence, California. He started riding at age 4 and entered his first race at age 8. He's riding Yamahas, 125cc in the West Division and 250cc events in the East. His hobbies are mountain biking and jet skiing. In the first moto, the top finishers are Mike Kiedrowski, Jeff Emig, and Guy Cooper. Clutches get a lot of abuse, so they must be replaced quite often. Jeff, how many years have you raced at Kenworthy's?
Well, I think they started having the national here probably in, I'm guessing, maybe around 87. And I think it was on 500s, and I've been here every year since then, and I think I've won here 2 or 3 times. So
I know you were burning the track up last year.
Yeah, it's been a good track for me, and I like the area and the track, and I've just felt real comfortable here, so hopefully this year will be another good year for me.
Yeah. You've been in this game for a long time. How'd you get started?
Well, my dad raced motorcycles when I was 5, growing up, and then he got me a bike, and I started racing around 7. I've been racing ever since. I've been on Kawasaki 13 years professionally. And I got a couple more good years left, and then I'll be retiring.
Okay. Well, Jeff, thanks a lot. It's been a pleasure talking
Thank
to
you
you.
very much.
This is the start of the first 250cc moto. To the right, a rider has gone down. This is one of the most significant crashes of the season involving several of the top riders. Here we see Doug Dubach of Chino, California, coming out of the pro section. Although he was involved in the big crash at the start, Mike LaRocco is making up time quickly. Larry Ward avoided the crash and has built up a nice lead. Larry is 22 years old. He was born in Everett, Washington, and currently lives in Society Hill, South Carolina. He started riding motorcycles at age 3 when most kids are just learning to ride a tricycle. He entered his first race at age 5. He won his first championship, the World Mini Championship, at age 8. He won the AMA Amateur 80cc National Championship in 1982. In 1983, he won the International Youth Motocross Championship. He began his professional race career in 1987. He's now riding Suzuki's, winning his first race for them at Paris, France in December 1989. His hobbies include deer hunting, bird hunting, and skiing. The referee is holding the 2-lap sign. Jeff Ward has paid the price for being involved in the crash. He's way down in the standings for this race. Meanwhile, Larry Ward, who is no relation to Jeff, continues to enjoy a comfortable lead. Here comes Larry to start his last lap. At the checkered flag of the first 250cc moto, we have Larry Ward in first place, followed by Jeff Matasevich and Doug Dubach. Hi, I have with me Mike Kiedrowski from the Kawasaki team. And Mike, how long have you been involved in motocross racing?
I've been racing since I was 4 years old, and I rode, this is my third year on the national circuit, and this is my first year with Kawasaki. I rode Kawasaki's for 6 years when I was an amateur, then I went to Honda, and now I'm back with Kawasaki, and things are looking pretty good here.
How does it feel to travel around the country all the time and be a big motocross star?
It feels pretty good. You know, it takes a lot of work. It's just like any job. You know, we're busy flying and training and, you know, getting the bike prepared each weekend for each track. So it's a lot of work, you know. It's a 7-day-a-week job, sometimes 6 days if we get a break, you know. But
well, everybody sees you race here at Kenworthy's, but when did you get into town?
I got in here on Thursday night, and then we had press day riding here on Friday for a couple hours.
So you didn't get to go to any local tracks or anything to practice?
No.
That's a luxury few can afford.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, good luck in today's race.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. It's time for the second 125cc moto. Jeff Emig pulls the hole shot for an early lead. Miraculously, all the riders make it through the first turn without a crash. Long before the American Motorcyclist Association became involved in motocross racing, natural terrain motocross was the rage in Europe. The sport began in Europe during the post-World War II era as improved suspension systems made it practical to tackle hills and jumps on off-road motorcycles. In the 1960s, America began to take notice of this grueling and exciting form of motorcycle racing, and in the 1970s, motocross in America made rapid strides as a professional sport. In 1971, Californians Gary Jones 250cc and Mark Blackwell 500cc were declared the AMA first national motocross champions based on their top American finishes in an international series largely dominated by the more experienced European riders. The popularity of motocross led to the creation of the AMA National Championship Series in 1972. Jones, who would capture 4 consecutive titles, repeated as champion in the 250cc class, and Brad Lackey, who later would become America's first 500cc world motocross champion, picked up the domestic 500cc crown. As motocross continued to expand, the AMA added the 125cc National Championship Series and the AMA Supercross Series to its racing calendar in 1984. This jump is called a tabletop. It's a common type you see in many motocrosses. Fast riders can launch from the uphill side and land on the downhill side. Slower riders can launch from the uphill side and land safely on the tabletop where they will still be visible to oncoming riders. Doug Henry of Ansonia, Connecticut is running in about 8th place. Jeff Emig continues to hold on to his lead, but Guy Cooper is closing the gap. Guy Cooper has passed Jeff Emig and is now in number 1 spot. It's the last lap, and it's Guy Cooper on his way to another win. And here they come across the finish line. It's Cooper, Emig, and Kiedrowski, which makes Cooper first for the day in the 125cc class, followed by Kiedrowski and Emig. The riders are already lining up for the second 250cc moto. Here's top local rider Mark Musselman with his tuner mechanic Kirk Patel. Jeff Ward looks thoughtful. He hopes to avoid another crash like in the first moto. The riders are ready for the gate to drop. It looks like Jean-Michel Bayle pulled the hole shot to take an early lead. His involvement in the first moto crash will limit his overall finish, though. Watch this rider reach up and clean his goggles in midair. Here comes Jeff Matasevich, who once again is running second. Jean-Michel Bayle continues to hold on to his lead. Watch him check over his shoulder in midair. Here's Mike LaRocco a little further back, running about sixth. Running back in the pack is local rider Mark Musselman, number 610. Jeff Matasevich is once again running in second place. It seems like he's always in one of the top spots. Jeff is 23 years old from La Habra Heights, California. He joined the Kawasaki team in 1985 and has been with them ever since. After winning the AMA Pro-Am National and 125-250 Olympic Championships in 1987, he went on to win the West Region Supercross title in 1988 and 89. In 1990, he led the Camel Supercross point standings for most of the season, losing the top spot at the next-to-last race of the year at San Jose. Jeff Ward's doing much better in this moto, running about fifth. After leading the entire race, Jean-Michel Bayle takes the checkered flag. Despite his strong finish, his crash in the first moto keeps him at third overall. Even though Larry Ward won the first moto, he finished fourth in the second moto, placing him second overall. Jeff Matasevich's consistent 2-2 finish nets him first overall in the 250cc class for the day.
Contest winners of last night, brought to you by Wazoo.
Kenworthy's is always a great way to spend a July weekend. I'm already looking forward to the next one. Well, that's all we have time for this month. Remember, there will be a new show next month. In the meantime, I invite you to join the over 7 million people who enjoy the world of motorcycling. See you next time.